Mic needs to be turned on.
Mic needs to be turned on?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Okay, she can hear me now.
Thank This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
There's high fire danger, and that any fires that do start can quickly get out of hand.
That's what happened today as fire crews work to put out a fire in Reno. They're still working a much larger one in south of Minden. The latest on those fires and the red flag warning that's still in effect as Firewatch tops Channel 2 News at 6:30. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Burton. Thanks for joining us tonight. The White Fir fire started around 12:30 this afternoon. It's burning just behind Mayberry Park. Right now, we're told it has charred about 40 acres. Fire crews have managed to keep the fire away from homes, although law enforcement have made some pre-evacuation notices, but so far no mandatory order has been placed yet. At last check, the fire was 60% contained. The cause of that fire is still under investigation tonight. Officials do want to remind you to stay out of the area while they work to put out the blaze. Meanwhile, fire crews are battling a much bigger fire burning south of Minden and the Gardnerville area near Markleeville, California. The Washington fire has grown to 6,500 acres and as of right now is still at 0% containment. The Alpine County Sheriff's Office has issued a pre-alert for evacuations. That means they're asking residents in the Markleeville area to prepare to evacuate. We want to be clear that as of now, there is no evacuation order, but residents should be ready just in case one is put in place. Fire officials say that blaze started last Friday after a lightning strike. We were at the fire today and learned why this blaze is so hard to fight.
There's timber in that area that hasn't burned in at least 100, if not more years. We're having a challenge getting resources. There's the west is starting to burn, and there's a lot of competition for fire engines and hand crews and aircraft, and this wind's so strong our aircraft can't fly.
As of now, there are no major towns or areas threatened, but there are about 15 historic cabins that are in danger. We caught up with a camper who's been bringing her family to the area for years. She tells us she's very rarely seen winds this strong.
I hope we're going to be okay. What's a little scary is the wind. I have already seen this area as windy as it is today, so it's actually going to depend on where the wind is going to go and how hard it's going to blow. So we just have to be careful and not take things for granted.
Fire officials say they'll be able to come up with a much better attack plan once the winds die down. Tonight we have Fire Watch team coverage for you. Amanda Ketchledge is live at the command post for the White Fir Fire to tell us what a red flag warning entails and how dangerous a fire could become in those conditions. But let's start first with Chloe Beardsley, who's in the Weather Center tonight. Now, Chloe, what kind of conditions are firefighters facing right now?
Well, unfortunately, Jen, it's not the conditions firefighters want to be seeing while out fighting a fire. We're still seeing very dry conditions all across the area tonight. Here's a look. You can see very low humidity right around the area where the Washington fire is burning tonight, with gusty winds still reaching 25 miles an hour and in some areas 40-mile-an-hour winds. Here's a time lapse taken earlier this afternoon of the White Fir Fire in West Reno, and you can see that smoke really billowing in that area. Things have cleared up a little bit just over the past few hours. Here's a live look outside in the biggest little city. Temperatures are in the 80s. It's still fairly warm and windy outside, with gusts nearly reaching up to 30 miles an hour. We still have that red flag warning. You can see the pink portions on your map right here that are highlighted. We're expecting those gusty winds to remain up to 40 miles an hour off and on up until 10 p.m. is when that warning does expire. As far as the winds for right now, we're seeing just breezes out of the west, pretty strong sustained winds at 21 miles an hour in Reno, 14-mile-an-hour winds right around South Lake Tahoe. Temperatures all around the region are still fairly hot, and we do have a dense smoke advisory in effect for South Lake Tahoe and portions of Douglas County. Now, as low pressure continues to move out of the region, we will start to see calmer conditions into tomorrow, but we have much warmer weather headed our way, and that's not good for fire season. We'll have details on that coming up in the full weather segment.
Thanks, Chloe. Let's check in now with Amanda Ketchledge, who's live at the command post for the White Fir Fire. Now, Amanda, fire crews were ready for a fire like this, they say, because of the red flag warning, right?
That's right, Jen. When a red flag warning is issued like today, it puts fire crews on high alert, and that's because fire danger is imminent in these kinds of conditions.
It can make anything that happens, any kind of sparks that can occur, fires can get out of hand well before any firefighters can get there. You know, right now we have the Washington fire going on in Alpine County, and that has blown up overnight.
Red flag warnings are considered the highest alert for the possibility of a fire. The National Weather Service says that firefighters aren't the only ones who should take notice of these warnings. The public should too. Driving through dry vegetation, doing yard work, or leaving a campfire unattended can result in a fire, and it will spread quickly if a red flag warning is in effect. Extremely low humidity, high temps, and gusty winds increases the potential danger. And when fires happen like the ones today, firefighters have to respond fast. Fires like the White Fir Fire near Mayberry Park usually occur in rugged terrain, so the distance can make it harder for firefighters to reach. And experts advise that while firefighters are fighting the flames, to be aware of the smoke in the area that can affect your health.
If you are in those areas, you want to make sure that you're not doing too much outdoor activity. Pay attention to those forecasts, because we may be seeing deteriorating air quality as the day goes on.
And if you do find yourself near a fire, you should be prepared to evacuate at any given moment. So having supplies ready, like a go bag, will have you ready to go in case that does happen in that area. Covering Fire Watch, Amanda Ketchledge, Channel 2 News.
Okay, thanks, Amanda. Of course, we'll be following these fires and fires all season long that break out, and we'll have the most complete coverage on the air, online, and our Facebook and Twitter pages. In Crime Beat tonight, the Reno Police Department tells us they shot a man in downtown Reno after they responded to reports of a man with a gun early this morning. Citizens had reported seeing a man with a gun near the Silver Legacy Casino just before 2 a.m. Sunday. According to police, when the officers arrived and approached the man, he presented his weapon and was shot by the officer. He was taken to a local hospital where his condition has not been released. Because the suspect was shot by a Reno police officer, the Sparks Police Department will be leading the investigation. If you have any information that might be helpful, call Secret Witness at 322-4900, or you can text your tip to 847-411. Also in Crime Beat tonight, we have an update for you on yesterday's standoff at a marina in Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe authorities have arrested this man, 35-year-old Corey Pearson, after he allegedly ran from police and barricaded himself in a stolen car. He's currently in the El Dorado County Jail facing charges of auto theft, evading, obstructing, and resisting, driving with a suspended license, and wearing a mask for an unlawful purpose. Police tell us Pearson was pulled over by an El Dorado County Sheriff's deputy, and when he refused to remove a bandana he was wearing over his face, the deputy called for backup, and Pearson took off, initiating the car chase. That pursuit ended in a standoff at the Tahoe Keys Marina. Police say after threatening that he had a gun, Pearson attempted to flee on foot toward officers and was shot with a less lethal beanbag and was then arrested.
Details on the fire warning in effect for this evening coming up on Channel 2 News.
And still to come on Channel 2, it's the fastest growing water sport in the country. We'll show you why paddleboarding is catching on with people of all ages. That's next.
You're watching Channel 2 News at 6:30 with Jennifer Burton, sports with Dallas Kolodny, and Chloe Beardsley's Pinpoint 2 forecast. Thanks for watching Channel 2.
Welcome back. Today, 17 Mustangs showed off their stuff in a training competition at the Reno Rodeo. The Mustang Heritage Foundation teamed up with the Bureau of Land Management to help wild Mustangs get ready to find some new homes. And the Mustangs were paired up with qualified trainers for 100 days before today's Extreme Mustang Makeover competition. After showing off what they learned, the Mustangs were made available for adoption.
It's a really unique opportunity because the public has an opportunity to adopt a Mustang that has some training, some gentling, something that they can incorporate into their family, their barn, and continue their education.
Kyla says all Mustangs have this potential, and she encourages people to come out and see what other adoptable Mustangs might have to offer to new owners. The most memorable summer breaks are the ones shared with people you love. Reno's Courtney Frankie wanted to do just that when she took her mom to Lake Tahoe to learn to stand up on the water. Jack Sutton has the story in tonight's Nevada Backroads.
In this season, the adventurous are drawn to Tahoe's sports. Here you find several ways to enjoy the lake's shimmering surface, but the newest is the world's fastest growing water sport, stand-up paddleboarding.
What we do to drift is we help stand-up paddleboard enthusiasts on their adventures. It's definitely overtaken kayaking hugely here. It's massively popular all over. Now we got to fill out this waiver here.
Austin makes it easy to get started. Courtney here has done this before, but Mom Tammy is a neophyte.
Everyone can do it, which is the best part. It's a really small learning curve, where surfing and sports like that have a large learning curve, for the most part. So people get pretty nervous getting into, a surf zone and on their first time on a big board, but on a paddleboard, Lake Tahoe is a great place to try it out, and we'll give you the full lesson. The water in the mornings is flat, it's calm, gorgeous scenery, not a lot of boats out, on the right time of year, and it's perfect.
Peerless and pure describes the lake. No place better to become one with the water.
People kind of really enjoy getting the perspective of being on like 6 feet above the water looking down, as opposed on a kayak when you sit down, you're really close to the water, so you don't really get that perspective of seeing deep down, the big boulders under Tahoe, the fish, there's a lot of stuff to see down there. They get out on the water, they come back, and they're totally stoked and so happy, and it's just like, wow, like that's what it's all about.
Reported at Lake Tahoe, Jack Sutton, Channel 2 News.
Critical fire weather continues tonight, and it looks like the dry conditions will continue in the week ahead. I'll have the details next.
Channel 2 News continues with Chloe Beardsley's Pinpoint 2 forecast.
Welcome back. Well, the skies may look very clear and sunny outside right now, but we're starting to get some areas of haze and smoke all around the region. For instance, take a look at this, the White Fir Fire, a time lapse taken earlier this afternoon. You can see that smoke just billowing in Reno this afternoon. Now, conditions have cleared up quite a bit since then. Now the fire is about 60% contained in West Reno. We're seeing sunny skies in the biggest little city tonight, but temperatures are still fairly warm and it is still very dry this evening, and winds aren't helping conditions with firefighters fighting those fires this evening, with gusts reaching almost 30 miles an hour and humidity at 7% right now. So we're looking at very dry conditions that will even continue overnight and over the next few days. Now this afternoon we made it to about 87 degrees, slightly above our average temperature, but starting tomorrow we're going to see quite a warming trend continue for the next several days. And for the rest of this evening we still have a red flag warning that remains in effect for a good portion of the region, which includes the Sierra and most of western Nevada for tonight. There's also a dense smoke advisory in effect for South Lake Tahoe and portions of Douglas County. So if you do see that thick smoke, avoid being outside because air quality will diminish from those fires. Conditions for tonight will drop down into the 40s. Expect the smoke and haze mostly south of Lake Tahoe this evening. Also could see some haze in Reno as those fires continue to be fought this evening. Red flag warning in effect again until 10 p.m. tonight. And as we take a look at our satellite map, we had that low pressure, that trough that passed through that really kicked up the winds this afternoon, continue to move out of the region for today. Now, as far as what we can expect for the next few days, relatively mild weather conditions. It's not going to be as windy tomorrow compared to the conditions we saw for today. You can see mostly clear skies into Monday, and as we roll into Tuesday, we have a ridge of high pressure that will continue to build into the region, and that's going to really bring us a warming trend for a good portion of the work week. 80s for your highs tomorrow in the mountains and 90s for your valley temperatures. And as we move farther up north, it's going to be another dry day all across northern Nevada, with temperatures ranging from the 80s in Winnemucca to low 90s in Fallon and Lovelock in the afternoon. Around the lake, also going to be a pretty warm day. Temperatures again reaching the upper 70s in the afternoon, slightly warmer in the valley with temperatures again above average later on in the day. Here's a look at those neighborhood conditions overnight. Just kind of depending on where you live, we're going to drop down to the 40s or 50s in most of our neighborhoods. Highs tomorrow slightly above average in the upper 80s in the afternoon. We're going to see lots of sunshine as we start the day for tomorrow. Much milder weather conditions can be expected, but we are going to still see a bit of a breeze in the afternoon. Not as windy as what we saw for today, but you can see southwest breezes 10 to 15 miles an hour, and we could see those hazy conditions continue. Mostly south of us is where we're going to expect to see most of that haze, with a dense smoke advisory in effect for Douglas County and portions of South Lake Tahoe, so just be aware of that. After that, we talked about that ridge of high pressure that's going to bring us very warm weather. I was talking triple digits by the end of this week into next weekend.
Yep, hope they can get those fires under control.
Yes.
Thanks, Chloe. Coming up in sports, we'll take a look back at last night's action at the Reno Rodeo. Dallas will have that and much more next.
Thanks.
Think about it. It'd have to be a slow news day for a Father's Day story.
But I was like, would we skip a Mother's Day story?
Now, here's Dallas Kolodny with Channel 2 Sports.
Final round of the 2015 U.S. Open is underway at Chambers Bay Golf Course up in Washington State. Right now, they are on the final few holes of the tournament. Defending Masters champ Jordan Spieth has taken a 3-stroke lead after birdieing the 15th hole, and Brandon Grace double bogeyed that same hole to fall to 3 shots back. There's actually 4 golfers deadlocked in a tie for second with Brandon Grace. Dustin Johnson, Louis Oosthuizen, and Adam Scott. Adam Scott is the only one in the top 5 who has actually finished his round. I will have highlights and results for you tonight at 11. Well, it was second performance at the Reno Rodeo last night. Let's take a look back at some of the action. At the Livestock Event Center, where there's a horse on a trailer, and race car driver Dean Heller, you know more as your Nevada U.S. Senator. He was also in attendance. Let's start you off with Saddle Bronc. This is Texan Jacobs Crawley. This ride, only a 74, but combined with his ride from Friday night, sits atop the overall leaderboard. The best ride in the group's second go last night went to Canadian Zeke Thurston. An 82 has him in a tie for second overall. Let's go to fan favorite Mutton Busting. It's also Jim Burton's favorite. 6-year-old Tristan Farmer from Washoe Valley. The ride of the night holds on to the sheep named Boot Scootin' for an 87. On to the ladies in barrel racing. Washoe Valley and Galena grad Rachel Prim had a good run going. Unfortunately, her horse pulled up a little too early, dropped her time to an 18.9 second run overall. She has a 36.95, 10th fastest time of the evening. Kaylee Bass rode to a 16.94 seconds. She leads overall. And finally, the bull, Sterling Ward from Gardnerville. Well, his night ended early, fell off in less than 2 seconds. Top ride went to Howdy Cloud of Texas, scoring an 81 after this dizzying ride atop of his angry animal. So let's take a look at the overall leaders after 2 days of competition. It's Wynn Ratliff from Ryan Gray, tied with a score of 157 in bareback. And steer wrestling, Jewel Hazen leads with a combined time of 8.9 seconds. Team roping, Edward Hawley Jr. and Ty Romo have a time of 11.8 seconds. Saddle Bronc, Jacobs Crawley, you saw his ride. He leads with a score of 151. And in tie down roping, Corey Solomon, he has a combined time of 20.1 seconds to pace the field. 2 more for you. Kaylee Bass in barrel racing leads with a combined time of 34.27 seconds. And in the bulls, Caleb Sanderson from Friday night, he has a score of 82. The top 12 from each event move to the finals on Saturday. So performance number 3, set to get going in about less than 10 minutes over at the Livestock Event Center. There's a trio of local ladies scheduled to compete in barrel racing tonight. Courtney Woods from Fallon, Kimberly Quinn from Reno, and Gypsy Watson from Washoe Valley. I'll be sure to let you know how they do tonight at 11. Well, the Reno Aces wrapped up their series with Giants affiliate Sacramento this afternoon. They looked for the sweep of the series. Let's head to Sacramento. Aces down a run in the third. Nick Evans takes Major Leaguer Jake Peavy for a ride to left center, his 11th home run of the year. The Aces tie the game at 1, but they would trail again in the 7th when Trayvon Robinson lifts one out to left. It carries over the wall, ties this game at 2. Later in the inning, Nick Buss would steal third, and a throwing error would allow him to be the go-ahead run as the Aces are 3-2 winners. They have tomorrow off and will start a 3-game series in Tacoma on Tuesday. How about the Aces parent club, the Diamondbacks, hosting the San Diego Padres. Bases loaded for A.J. Pollock. That one gets through the left side, brings in 2 runs, 4-0 D-backs. Later in the second, 2 on for A.J. Pollock. Chops that one past second, clear the bases. 7-0 Arizona, more than enough to claim the win today. Oakland A is looking to take the series from the Angels. Up 1-0 in the 6th. Brett Laurie, base knock to left. That scores Stephen Vogt, and it's a 2-0 Oakland Athletic lead. Very next batter, Ike Davis. There he is. He will connect on this one. It'll leave the yard. Not quite, actually. Off the wall, and that gave Oakland just enough to beat their AL West rivals 3-2, Jen.
A lot of action. Great night at the rodeo. Should be beautiful weather tonight.
Yeah, it should be performance 3. There's a bunch more after that. We'll be out there every night.
Sounds great. Thanks, Dallas. Coming up next, we'll have a final look at your weather with Chloe Beardsley. You're watching Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
Thanks for watching Channel
Chloe's here with a final check of our weather.
Yeah, it looks like we could see some areas of dense smoke, especially in Douglas County and near Markleeville. Could see some haze in the valley as well, and warmer weather is headed our way in the triple digits.
Thanks, Chloe. Be sure to join us tonight at 11. We'll have a full update on the 2 fires that are burning in northern Nevada and northern California. Until then, have a great night, and we'll see you back here at 11. Good night. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.